Good morning. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Also, soon to be, I'm debating between a couple of logos for crystal clear weather. There's this one in the black, or potentially this one. So I'm debating between a couple of logos for crystal clear weather, and then I'll begin doing that sometime after the new year, as is the par for the course with me. I'm behind where I wanted to be on it. So it's been a while since I created the Madison County weather updates, and so I kind of forgot how much is involved in it. So, but that crystal clear weather is coming for those of you who financially support the page, or for our sponsors. Madison County weather updates will continue, but this crystal clear weather, there will be additional information for a larger area covering not only Madison County and Indiana, but the Great Lakes region, and at times the national scene where necessary. So, at any rate, enough on that. If you don't financially support the page, please do so, and get in on the crystal clear weather. Once I have it running, it'll be $4.44 a month minimum in order to have access to it. So get in now while you can, before there's a set price. At any rate, enough of all that. First, we're going to talk about the upper level low that's kind of spinning to our west right now. We're looking at the AM3K on pivotal weather, and as you can see throughout the day, it just kind of this upper level low kind of meanders and spins, and you can actually see the center of spin is closer to us, and so everything kind of pinwheels right around us, which is kind of par for our course. And maybe some snow showers make their way in the evening. It's all in where this upper level low actually goes versus where it's modeled to go. So it's acting a little bit like a cutoff low, where they kind of wobble and spin around, and you really don't know for sure where they're going, but it looks like the majority of the snow is going to end up staying to our southwest and to our south. Again, largely dodging our area, but we still could get under a snow band or something that could just develop that the models don't see. There's no way to predict exactly where it's going to happen. So just keep in mind, it's possible we could get under a snow burst, but right now, late this afternoon through this evening, a mix of showers and or snow is possible, but impacts are expected to be pretty minimal. So I want to go farther out now, because I have kind of been talking about things in the text of the forecast. We're taking a look at the GFS model, and it's not exact, so don't take these verbatim. It's just got an idea of the pattern itself that I want to take a look at. And we got on a precipitation mode, and of course here's the upper level low that's kind of spinning out of the area right now. The position I've got this on, you can't really see it, but the GFS is running a clipper on Monday. It's running it off through Michigan and not really bringing us any precipitation here. But I do think you can kind of see it right up at the top edge of the screen. I do think there's a chance that clipper dives a little farther south. And again, we could see some minimal snow showers on Monday, Sunday night into Monday. We'll see how that pans out. Clipper's very disorganized, and who knows what it's going to do. So we'll see how that looks as we look at it tomorrow and as we get into the weekend. But there's a minor chance for precipitation on Monday. Beyond that, we see a storm system running off to our south across the southern tier of states, and the blues kind of show you that there's some cold air in play, especially in the upper levels. Some of that filters down, but overall, temperature wise, we're just going to continue to run mostly with highs in the mid to upper 30s, maybe around lower 40s at times, and lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s. So that's all above average, and that doesn't look like that trend's going to end until as we get into the later in the first week of January. Now, the thing we're going to watch here as we get into like the fourth, you can see the GFS has this system running off again, bringing some mountain snows in the southeast. We need to see where that system tracks, because where that system tracks will tell us a little better where the following system is going to track. And so the one around the fourth or so, don't expect impacts on. Then we get into the fifth. This one, let me change this view here. Let's go national for a minute. All right, so we can see everything. Sorry about that. So let's catch back up. So down here's their system, around the fourth or so. Then we move on, and we see a new system develop way down here in the Gulf Coast, and then another low running across the northern tier. This kind of split is one of the things that's kind of been vexing us for multiple winters now, and El Nino is really bad about this split flow. But if we get a system from this low that from the south that comes up a little farther north, interacts with the cold, then we could get a decent snow out of something. I think the GFS may not necessarily be handling this low up here very well. This is around the 5th into 6th. So we'll see how this low how this works out, and out again where these track is going to tell us a whole lot. I think we just need to wait and see. Based on the Bering Sea, I think the position may be off, but you do see the shot of cold beginning to dig in, but it's relative cold. It's not super cold. And then, of course, the GFS gives some backside snow showers as those two lows merge around the 6th. And then beyond that, then we watch, and here's where it could get interesting. And again, we'll see what happens across the. I need to look at what's going on in the Bering Sea, but these storm systems are here. It's a matter of where they track and how they interact with the cold air. So we've got this low pressure is beginning to develop back here in Texas, and another one that is right in here. And then as we move on, you can see that as it progresses and begins to collect itself, this is around the afternoon of the 10th into the 11th, a good strong low could develop running right through Kentucky, which is very favorable for moderate to heavy snow here in central Indiana. So this is really late in the evening on the 10th. So I'm going to switch our view back so we can see up close again. Let me catch it back up. Sorry about this. So here we are. We're into the 10th, and you can see we start off with rain, and then as this low deepens, again, this is the evening of the 10th. Then the GFS creates a pretty healthy snow. I'm not going to show you totals, but they're pretty healthy. But I think there are two systems. I just kind of wanted you to see the potential pattern that's there. Again, it's a GFS model. If anything, I think the GFS might be a little bit slow with these, which is unusual because the GFS tends to be a little progressive. But I've been saying we needed to watch, the time frame from about the 5th to maybe the 12th. I continue to think that's the case. There are 2, maybe 3 systems at play, and wobbles and how things set up will dictate where those go. Again, the way things have been going, we could come through that stretch with 0 snow, or we could end up getting a pretty healthy snow. So we'll see how that all pans out. And to me, the best winter shot is going to come late in the month, and the reason being is we look at this. This is the temperatures and winds at 10 millibars, which is way up in the atmosphere, and up in the stratosphere, and we can see where the blues are up in here. That is the polar vortex, and you can see there we've got a warmer circulation right here. It's beginning to push on it at 10 millibars. It's kind of getting elongated, but what's interesting then is if we drop down a little lower in the atmosphere and look at 70 millibars, you can really see the warmth beginning to push. You can see there's two separate the strongest part of the cold air is way over here, but there's developing a second spin right here and potential push right between those. It would be nice to see warmth coming from the opposite side of the planet too. That would really split it. But it does look like, and all the data indicates, that we're going to be heading for a split of the polar vortex in early January, with potentially this lobe right here swinging its way down into the U.S. A lot of the data has it kind of plunging down through our region. My gut tells me that this is going to be, the cold air is going to be most dominant across the plains, and we'll be on the eastern edge of that, the coldest air, which tends to be good for us for snow. And I don't think any of us want to see it be 10 degrees and no snow on the ground. So again, if the polar vortex split happens around the 5th or so, then we would feel those impacts late January into early February, maybe to mid-February. So we're going to have to see how the split actually happens, if it actually happens, and where this cold air goes is going to dictate everything. So there's no way to know it right now. Again, model data is dropping it right down into the center of the country, including here, and we'll just have to see how that plays out. But that's just kind of an overview of what we got coming up. So again, we're looking for warm temperatures to continue into the first week of January, relatively warm. We're looking for some colder shots between about the 5th and the 12th. Again, not brutal, but colder than what we've seen for a lot of the winter. 2 to 3 systems that could affect us. Probably only one of the 3 would affect us, just a matter of which one. And so we'll wait and see how that plays out. And then we'll go back mild mid-January through about 3rd week of January. And then we'll watch and see if this polar vortex split happens. If it does, then we could be looking at some serious cold and wintry weather late January through early to mid-February. So that's all I've got for you. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates and soon to be crystal clear weather. Everybody have a great day.